The wind howled through the skeletal trees of Blackpine Forest, carrying whispers that no human ear had ever heard. It was Christmas Eve, but the snow fell heavier than any in living memory, and the moon hung high, pale and cold, like a watchful eye in the sky. Liam had been warned never to enter these woods, not after dark and certainly not when the frost held a silence so complete it seemed to swallow sound itself. Yet tonight, drawn by something he could not name, he stepped onto the icy path. Every crunch of his boots against the snow sounded too loud, too alive, as though the forest itself was listening. A sudden gust carried a scent, sharp, metallic, and strangely sweet, and Liam froze. Something was out there, eyes he couldn't see, yet he felt the weight of a presence. A shadow moved across the snow, too large for any animal he had ever known, and a low, resonant growl rolled through the clearing like thunder held in a frozen heartbeat. Liam's breath caught, mist curling in front of him, but he could not turn away. There, at the center of a glade bathed in silver moonlight, was a girl encased in crystal-clear ice. Her hair floated around her like frozen flames, and her skin shimmered like frost under the moon. She was beautiful but terrifying in her stillness, like someone caught between worlds. Beside her stood the wolf, massive, pure white, its fur glittering with frost, eyes glowing a haunting blue that seemed to pierce straight into Liam's chest. It was guarding her, and yet far somehow, it was alive in a way that defied the laws of nature. The wolf's growl deepened, vibrating through the frozen trees. Liam wanted to run, but his feet refused. He felt a pull, like the girl was calling him, not with words, but with a heartbeat that echoed inside his own. Then, in a motion almost too fast to see, the wolf stepped closer to him, and the snow beneath its paws froze instantly, cracks spiderwebbing outward like ice veins. A voice, low and rough as the wind itself, whispered in Liam's mind, "Do not touch her, unless your heart is true." Liam's knees shook, but something inside him stirred, courage, curiosity, and a strange warmth that seemed impossible in the icy air. He stepped forward, and the wolf did not attack, merely watched, calculating. Liam knelt beside the frozen girl, brushing snow from her face. The moment his fingers touched her icy cheek, a shock ran up his arm, sharp as lightning. Images flashed before his eyes, centuries of winter storms, of lonely howls under the Christmas moon, of the girl wandering, frozen and trapped, and of the wolf, her eternal protector. The curse was old, cruel, and merciless, but it was not unbreakable. For hours, Liam searched the forest under the wolf's watchful gaze. He scaled ice cliffs that glimmered like glass, crossed frozen rivers where shadows moved beneath the surface, and avoided creatures of frost that prowled the dark. The wolf followed silently, snarling at threats and guiding him with an uncanny intelligence. Each step tested his courage, but each step brought him closer to understanding what he had to do. He had to give something of himself to awaken her, not just his courage but his kindness, his willingness to believe in magic when all the world whispered against it. Finally, at the peak of the tallest ridge, under the glow of the Christmas moon, Liam placed his hands over the girl's heart. He whispered words he did not understand, words that sounded ancient, carried on the wind like music. The wolf howled, a long, keening sound that made the snow vibrate, and the ice around the girl began to crack. Light poured from the fractures like liquid starlight, bathing the clearing in a brilliance so cold and pure that Liam's eyes burned. And then she breathed. A shiver ran through the forest, and the wolf leaped forward, pressing its forehead against hers. The girl's eyes opened, an icy blue yet warm, alive, and she smiled. Snow swirled around them in a dancing storm of sparkling frost, and Liam felt a warmth he had never known, a magic older than the stars. The wolf turned to Liam, eyes still glowing, and with a final, respectful growl, disappeared into the trees, carrying the girl on its back. They vanished like a dream, fading with the dawn, leaving only a shimmer in the snow, a whisper of frost on the wind, and a boy forever changed by the night he stepped into legend. Liam never forgot that Christmas. Every year, when the wind howled through the Blackpine Forest and the moon hung pale and cold, he thought of the wolf and the girl and wondered if, somewhere beyond the snow, they were watching, waiting for the next soul brave enough to follow the magic.